Over there, sir.
Yeah.
2 questions. Will the scripts for the episodes ever be available online or available to buy? And also,
oh, go ahead. The other one.
when you're writing a scene, I feel like you do dialogue so well, and you write to emphasizing an actor's performance so well. Is there a certain approach that you take to doing that? Because I feel like you do it better than most other filmmakers and TV show creators.
Well, I don't know about offering them online. It's an interesting idea. I don't know. It would be easy to just make PDFs and just stick them on my website. I certainly wouldn't charge people.
I guess if you sold the show to Amazon.
Is that what they do?
No, but you could. I mean, it's a, Amazon.
Oh, you mean, I guess,
you could just put them up as a book.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe someday I'll do that. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with people reading the way that it was written. But as far as dialogue goes, I try to be fair or honest or something. There's some word like that goes along with it for me. As far as like, I try not to feel like I rigged it. I try to think of who the characters are and what's going on in the scene, and then it's kind of like I almost feel like I'm a stenographer. Like I just imagine what they're going to say, and then it's like, well, then he would have to say this, and this person would have, and I just take it down. I try not to. I like try to be next to the audience instead of ahead of them. I think sometimes dialogue can get very clever, and you can be like, well, now I'm going to have her say this. Like sometimes I feel like a person. Dishonest dialogue to me is like when somebody gets very has a reaction, like they're very upset and they attack the other person. You go, well, she didn't really do anything to deserve it, though. I think where it gets dishonest is like, well, then let's make her say something worse right before, so that this. I think then you're gaming the system. I'd rather go like, wow, my character really overreacted. That's interesting. Let's see where that takes us. So I try to follow the dialogue instead of leading it.
When you were working with the actors, especially because what you just talked about, they reminded me of a number of scenes with Jessica, the way she reacts, especially when they come back from the funeral. Did you, as you were going through, I guess that Tuesday, were you tweaking things from them as you knew them as actors, working with your characters?
Yeah, I mean, they ask, good actors ask questions. These were such good ones that I a lot of times let them ask me. They'd come to me and go, why would I? Edie's very meticulous. She sits down with me and goes through the script and says, I have a few questions here. And she asks me, if she doesn't have a beat on why she's saying something, she'll ask me and we'll talk about it. And in some cases it led to me changing the line because she was very intelligent.
Well, there's at the back there, right in the center, you got your arm up. That's you, yeah.
That's you. Me, buddy. All right.
It's like a bar.
Hey, I love the bar. Was this modeled after any bar? Second question, is there an open mic at this bar?
Actually, one of the last episodes, Paul Simon shows up in the show as a patron at the bar, as Stephen Wright's friend. And Paul, I thought about having him be one of those guys that plays shitty music on a guitar, play bye bye Miss America, anything but his own music, but just to be ridiculous. But anyway, that bar. I mean, one of my favorite things about the way it turned out was how that bar ended up looking. We did a lot of research just looking at pictures of bars that had been around for a long time. We looked at McSorley's in New York City, which is on 7th Street and 2nd Avenue, or 3rd Avenue. McSorley's has been around since 1830, and I went to McSorley's and talked to one of the guys there for a long time, and that's a family business, like Horace and Pete's is. It's not always been owned by McSorley's, it's been moved from maternal to paternal family lines, but it's always stayed in it. And he told me how that they were around in Prohibition, and they sold near beer and corned beef sandwiches, which is a line in one of the episodes. So the worn, beautiful, the finish being gone on the bar, and the way the steps are worn out, and all those details. And we tried to make it. It was very hard to make accidents over time look real. The first version of what we saw just looked like a Bennigan's, when you go to or a TGI Fridays where they make you want to make you feel. They put an oar up there and some stupid picture of an old baseball team from the turn of the century. But it's all laid out. You'll see the exact same back wall as another TGI Fridays. It's manufactured. So Amy Silver has been my production designer since when I was making short films as a kid. And I just kept beating her up. Like, I'd come to the bar and I'd go, I ain't buying it. And she'd go, shit, and then she'd go find some other stuff. And she kept making these layers. And also, like, at McSorley's, they have this thing. There's a kind of old chandelier, and there's these turkey bones. Because what they used to do is they'd serve big turkeys that you just rip pieces off a turkey and you drink beer. This is back at the turn of the century. And that wishbones, they'd put them up, they'd hang them on this chandelier. So during World War I, all of the local doughboys, they would have their last meal at McSorley's before shipping off, and they'd put their bone up there. And then when they'd come back, they'd take their bone down. But all the boys who didn't make it back, their bones are still there, and they're covered with dust, like huge. It's an amazing thing. So we were very inspired by that, and we really worked hard to make that bar feel like that. And we made this sign based on pictures that we found of people back then, and we just wanted to really, to me that bar was very real. It's one of the reasons I'm haunted by the idea of continuing it, because it's all in storage, all that shit. It's costing a fortune to keep it in storage. In New York City, I'm keeping that entire bar in storage. It's so much money. But
you gotta make another one.
I think so, because every day I'd walk in there and be like, me and Stephen Wright used to sit there and go, this is a real place. I can't believe this isn't, when Colin Quinn is in, I'm not going to ruin anything for you, but in episode 10, we flash back to Horace and Pete's in 1976, and we didn't have to change anything. The bar is the same, it was just costumes. And I got Colin Quinn to play really Kurt's part, that he was the guy sitting at the bar with a newspaper talking shit. And Colin lived in Brooklyn in 1976. He was like 18 years old, so he told me about what life was like then. Like he dated a girl who lived in a place called Trump Village, which is near Coney Island. So that's mentioned. But anyway, Colin told me, he said, your bar is on Court Street in Brooklyn. Like he told me everything about Horace and Pete.
You're a very good Colin Quinn.
Oh yeah, no, it's not. But anyway, so he from watching the show felt like he knew the bar. I don't remember your second question anymore.
Well, there's one line that you say about the bar that I really, really like. And I just kind of want to, you talked about it, you say shutting it down feels harder than keeping it open.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say, that's how it feels about this panel today, my friends. Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.